Hey everybody, it's the coach. Welcome to the special Saturday edition of the NFL on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we'll see the veteran Joe Flacco and his new team, the Denver Broncos, as they take on Phillip Rivers and the LA Chargers. With that, let's get out to Southern California with the call from Los Angeles. Here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach. Under hazy, overcast L.A. skies, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California. Today, it's a matchup in the AFC West between the Denver Broncos and the Los Angeles Chargers. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, look, some might say that football is a young man's fancy, so to speak, but don't tell that to these two quarterbacks because they come in here with a lot, and I mean a lot, of NFL experience.
Hey, I like the young Turks. I like the Baker Mayfields. I like the Patrick Mahomes. I like the Lamar Jacksons. But I do like those grizzled veterans who know how to play the game, know how to run their team, and know how to handle difficult situations. Maybe I'm just showing my age, too.
Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Broncos head out for their first drive, and at the controls in his first season in the Mile High City, a former Super Bowl champion in Joe Flacco. And in Baltimore, they drafted Lamar Jackson. Eventually, he would take over for Flacco Week 10 a season ago. So Flacco out. Well, the Broncos said, we still think he has some time left in his career. They bring him in for some stability at quarterback, something that they really haven't had in Denver since the departure of Peyton Manning after their victory in Super Bowl 50. On first down, Flacco. He's got his big tight end, Fant. 5 yards on the game's first play, second down. The offensive starters now for the Broncos.
And how about Phillip Lindsay's rookie season? Began the year third on the depth chart. Finished it in the Pro Bowl. Not bad for an unrestricted free agent out of Colorado with speed to burn.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Now it's Flacco. And this is incomplete. The starters on defense here for Los Angeles.
It's real easy to talk about Thomas Davis coming back from multiple knee injuries, but he wants his play on the field to be the story.
Third play here, this opening drive, as they're up against a 3rd and 5. From the gun, Flacco. And he finds Hamilton. That's complete. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains. Hamilton, the 4th-round pick, had a very productive career at Penn State where he was teammates with Saquon Barkley. And the tandem of he and Cortland Sutton brings some solid youth to that Bronco receivers room. And now the 24-year-old Hamilton hoping to build on what was a 30-catch campaign from a season ago as a rookie. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Go. Check.
Now the young man who was a Pro Bowler as an undrafted rookie, it's Phillip Lindsay. And he'll muscle his way up to the 43 for a pickup of right around 5.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Now Flacco. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete. Cortland Sutton was the man he was looking for, and it's 3rd and 5.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Flacco from the gun. And he's got Hireman. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. That one good for 13 and a Denver first down.
I don't believe that this opening drive is surprising to either one of us after the time we spent with the coaching staff and players prior to the game. What about you?
Absolutely. Not only that, but that big article in this paper this morning about their philosophy on starting games like you're shot out of a cannon, and that's what they've done. Very methodical here on this first drive.
Yeah, so many teams talk about that fast start. We're actually seeing it happen right here in front of us.
But now the kicker. Can they cap it off by putting the ball in the end zone? On 1st and 10, it's Lindsey. Tackle made by Thomas Davis.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Flacco leaves to Lindsey on the draw. And very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41. They follow up the gain of 2 with a gain of 1 that time.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
2nd-year punter Colby Wadman out there now for the Broncos. Deep for the Chargers, Desmond King. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. Phillip Rivers taking the field with the Chargers offense coming off the 30-10 victory last week against the Miami Dolphins. Phillip, another 300-yard game, threw for 310, 2 touchdowns, and as we say a lot about him and the other older quarterbacks like Brady and Breeze, he's still got it at 37, Charles.
He certainly does, and moves well enough that he got outside the pocket and threw a couple touchdowns while on the run. What did he pass, Marino? In games with 3 touchdowns? 64 now for Phillip Rivers, 4th all-time. And you know what I love about him? The joy that he plays the game. Because 2 weeks ago in Detroit, when he went out there, he told the Lions corner, Darius Slay, hey, Slay, we're coming after you early and often. Going to be a long day, baby. And then Slay ended up making the game-winning interception down the road.
And the offensive starters here for Los Angeles.
I don't think it's hyperbole to say that Mike Pouncey's one of the best centers in the league. And to me, he helped usher in that new wave of centers. Agile, able to get to the 2nd level and block people downfield, able to pull like a guard and get out in front of ball carriers, and pass protects really well. Helps keep his quarterbacks clean.
Rivers incomplete on 1st down. Here's 2nd and 10. This pass finds its way to Williams. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did. And Brandon, you know that expression? He just does what he does. It sounds trite, doesn't it? But in this case, it's perfectly apt. This is one of the better runners in the NFL. And all he does is just find avenues, find ways to pick up key 1st downs and big runs.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. From the shotgun, it's Rivers. This one caught by Davis. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 1st down, Los Angeles there with a pickup of 14 yards.
Barney sold the go route really well. Thought he was going deep, then curled it back inside for a nice completion.
DBs love when they pump the brakes, don't they?
Yeah, that's really a whole lot of fun. It's almost like you said, listen, if you're going to sell the go, just go, and let's see who's faster.
Rivers on the money, complete. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. The end result, 21 yards.
They sure put the coverage guys in a stress on that one. They thought they were going deep. Ends up curling inside for a nice chunk of yardage.
So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 32-yard line. Back to the ground now with Gordon. And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6. Gordon, a Pro Bowler for the 2nd time last season, 885 yards, 10 touchdowns. And that was only in 12 games played a season ago. And he also switched jersey numbers in the offseason from 28 to 25. And 25, that's the number he wore when he was dominating the Big Ten college gridiron for the Badgers of Wisconsin. On 2nd down, it's Gordon, and he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. 7 yards there and a 1st down. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things, and it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
To throw, Rivers. He's got his tight end complete. It's Green. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. That was the 8th play of the drive, so a somewhat fitting pickup of 8 yards. Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this 1st quarter. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Rivers. And Davis gets in for a Charger touchdown. An 11-yard touchdown. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
A try here for the extra point. And the Chargers grab the 7-0 lead. So that drive consumes 9 plays all told. And it winds up with a touchdown for Los Angeles. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. As Denver's offense takes the field again here, Charles, I actually want to talk about the defense. On Monday, it was found out that Bradley Chubb, torn ACL, done for the year. That's a big blow to a solid Denver D.
To put it mildly, because he was the opposite of Von Miller. So those bookend outside linebackers rushing the passer, well, they didn't get their first sack until this past week, week 4 against Jacksonville, and that came from Von Miller. They thought they were going to start to get going. Now without Chubb, what are you going to do? And by the way, they blew a 17-6 lead against Jacksonville at home. That tells you about their season so far.
Well, that's the thing. I think probably the most surprising winless team at this point, wouldn't you say?
I would say so. That's why they brought in Joe Flacco to play quarterback. They thought with that defense, with guys like Chubb and guys like Von Miller, that they'd be able to play against anyone. Now they've got the Chargers, at the Chargers, then home against the Titans in Kansas City. Schedule doesn't get any easier.
On second down now, it's Lindsey. A 6-yard pickup on the ground that time, and that'll make it 3rd and 4 coming up.
All right, Brandon, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
An extra cornerback now in the game for the Chargers here on 3rd. Operating out of the gun, Flacco. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
The Broncos send out their punter now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. Here's King. That'll be a 50-yard punt with 8 on the return. And it'll be Charger football here as they take over. Chargers football again, and this is an offense, Charles, that really has been thinned by injuries, especially going into this last week, week 4, where they beat the Dolphins. But look, now they get Melvin Gordon back. He did suit up in week 4 but didn't play. Whenever he starts playing, obviously, that's a big thing for them. Yeah,
and that was the best scenario for them, that Melvin Gordon was able to suit up and not play because he just returned to the team after missing the entire preseason in the first few games. They've got great depth. We saw that with so many backups contributing to the win. Yes, it was Miami, but they got it done. Next 2 games are home games. One against Denver, that's within the division, followed by Pittsburgh, who's been struggling in the early going.
They'll start the drive with a run by Gordon. On the stop that time, it was Josie Jewell. And a look now at how the Broncos line up defensively.
Well, showcase cornerback Kareem Jackson has brought his talents from Houston to Denver, and the Broncos are really excited about using him all over their secondary. Primarily a corner for most of his career, the last couple of seasons he swung back to safety as well, and has done a nice job in both spots.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Now Rivers going to give it off to Gordon. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
On 3rd down, Rivers going underneath for Gordon. And he will have a 1st down as they get him to the ground at the 37. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Now Gordon on 1st down, and they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Now Rivers. That's complete to his tight end. This is Lance Kendricks. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
To throw on 3rd down. Rivers, open man, it's Allen. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Charger first down.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route.
Set, 180. 51, Mike, 51. Hey, let's get that ball.
Rivers now from the 50. And he will find Davis. That's complete. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
Let's go, let's bring it. Let's wait.
And incomplete. He was trying to get that one to Allen that time, and it's second down. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it. When you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Rivers completes it to Benjamin. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. 22 yards there, a first down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Round 80. Check back 47. Who that? Round. He hot.
They'll throw again. Rivers. He finds his receiver, Williams, for a Charger touchdown. 8 yards on the touchdown pass. For the Chargers, they're able to widen their lead. 2 excellent drives for them to start this game, both ending with touchdown passes.
Yeah, they're off and running, even though they finish things off through the air. Gotta like what you're seeing from them so far. Being able to maneuver offense, take care of the football, and then ring that bell at the end with, as you said, 2 touchdown passes.
Extra point splits the uprights, and it's now 14-0. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive, and it ends with the Chargers getting into the end zone. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points get that 0 off the board. 1st and 10, and Flacco looking to throw. Chargers able to get the pressure and bring him down. The former number 3 pick, Joey Bosa, bringing the lumber that time.
Well, someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield and get after the quarterback.
Been such an impressive first half to get that lead. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. On 2nd down, a run with Lindsey. Oh, some strong running. That one good for 17 as they're set up better now for 3rd down. I was pretty surprised there when they lined up to run it on 2nd and long, but it worked out for them.
It certainly did, and that requires some confidence, some fortitude, and a little bit of hope, doesn't it? You hope you catch the defense just right and break off a big run to help yourself out on the next down.
3rd down, Flacco from the gun. Under pressure, and Flacco's going to be dropped. Joey Bosa able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked. The Broncos send out their punter now as he's on here to punt it away. And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. On the return, it's King. A 46-yard punt, 8 yards on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. Rivers on 1st down. That's complete. It's Gordon. And he will be out of bounds here on what will turn out to be the final play of this first quarter. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on 1st down. Now Rivers going to give to Gordon on the draw. It's Kareem Jackson making the play defensively.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the play, as we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his head as this game progresses.
On 3rd down, Rivers, and that will be incomplete.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. Fourth down, and on is Ty Long to punt. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. And Denver getting set to take the field. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. The drive will commence with a run by Lindsey. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's 2nd and 2. bootleg. Flacco. And the Chargers rush is going to get there. Down he goes. Joey Bosa able to disrupt yet another pass play. That is his third sack of the afternoon.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been under constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Now after the sack, Flacco and the Broncos come up 3rd and long. Third down, Flacco needs a decent chunk of yardage. Yeah, that one's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Desmond King there on the coverage.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
The Broncos send out their punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. Taken in at the 22. A big boot that time, 57 yards the official distance. And out will come the offense as they take over. And we spotlight Keenan Allen as he gets set to go back to work. Second quarter here, he has only 1 catch, but they have the lead. You got to think, though, he's going to be more involved at some point.
That's what you would expect, but sometimes what defenses do to take away a player of his magnitude, it costs them in other areas. And right now, with them losing, they may have to change their focus, and maybe he will open up a little bit more as the game goes on.
Yeah, well, so far, just the single catch. So Rivers will lead the Chargers up 1st and 10 at their own 27. So he got free of 1 tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else. 4 yards on the dump-off at 2nd down.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
On 2nd down, they'll run with Gordon. It's a pickup of 17 and a 1st down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
So following the run by Gordon, here's 1st and 10.
Wait, 89.
Rivers. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete. Well, Charles taking a step back for a second. Let's look at the undefeated teams still left in the NFL. We got New England, KC, they're 4-0. And then San Fran, they were open last week. They didn't have a game, so they're still at 3-0. We only have 3 teams left.
And they had the easiest path, not just because they had the open week, but how about New England getting challenged by Buffalo? Yes, they were on the road, but you don't often think of Buffalo as a team to really press New England. They did. And Kansas City, they got a heck of a test in Detroit. Had to score with 20 seconds left on the clock to win that game. So both of them remained undefeated, but not without struggles.
That's the interesting thing about Buffalo. I think we learned more about them in their 1 loss this year than we have in their 3 victories.
I think we would say the same thing about Kansas City because of how they got pressed, but we'd also say the same thing about Detroit, how they played Kansas City in that game.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
Wait, 89.
Working out of the gun, Rivers. And his throw here's incomplete. Mike Williams, the intended target, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Rivers incomplete on first down. Here's 2nd and 10. Now a 10th carry for Melvin Gordon. They get 6 here after the incompletion, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 4. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Rivers from the gun on 3rd down. He's got his man. It's Williams. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 17 yards for the Chargers there as they've got themselves a first down.
Round 80! Come on. You better bring it. Behind!
On the delayed handoff, this is Gordon. And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down. Bear in mind, that wasn't a big lineman back there for the tackle for loss. That was a cornerback.
So are you saying the myth has been shattered? That all of them are not just cover corners? Some of them actually will stick their nose in and tackle when necessary? That's what we just saw, isn't it?
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Rivers going to turn and give this one to his running back, Gordon. And strong running there as he's inside the 10 and down to the 8-yard line. It'll be a gain of 5, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and about 7 left.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even if...
And this is caught. He's got it. Touchdown, L.A. Phillip Rivers with his 3rd touchdown pass of the game. And the Chargers, they're able to widen their lead. Now, he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the 2nd quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
The call is to go for 1 and kick the extra point. And it is now 21-0. A 10-play drive that time. And it winds up with a touchdown for Los Angeles. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Come on, baby. Let's go.
Joe Flacco here. We get a peek at what he's done so far in this game. And I guess the question, Charles, is what's the formula for keeping him better protected? Because as we see, the protection, it struggled.
And normally what you get is renewed determination. When the big guy gets hit, that usually sparks people. Hey, we can't let this happen anymore. They take it personally. He's not supposed to be on the ground, but that hasn't been the case so far in this game. So maybe they've got to figure out how do they get rid of the ball faster to help out the offensive line so he doesn't get hit as much.
And we'll see if they can keep him off the ground now going forward. They'll run with Freeman here to begin the drive. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
552, 552.
On second down, Freeman. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. From the gun, Flacco. Got a man. He finds Sanders. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. First time these two have hooked up this afternoon, and it's a first down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Now it's Flacco. Got a man open. It's Sutton. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A really nice gain of 25 yards. They were in zone defensively, went with a crossing route. It's always interesting to watch that chess match.
Yeah, and I think safeties don't mind crossing routes against zone because eventually you're going to run into their territory, and that's when they lick their chops in order to get the big hit or a play on the ball.
Offensively, nice execution to find a hole, make the catch. Flacco now, 5 out of 10, 50% throwing it. Not so hot, but he does have a first down. Flacco on the give to Lindsey. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Well, he's looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. A run with Lindsey out of the gun. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss. And now it's 3rd down.
Well, that play was over before it even got started. Thanks for nothing, huh? How about that? That sets up a very difficult 3rd down call now.
An extra defensive back on the field for the Chargers now on 3rd down. And movement by one of the Broncos up front, and in comes the flag. That's going to set him back 5 yards.
Still 3rd down.
So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now, 3rd and long. Here's Flacco off the play fake to Lindsey. And that is incomplete.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
The Broncos send out their punter now as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And now where will the side judge stop his walk? That's the question. He says it crossed out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. Getting set to go again here on offense, Keenan Allen marches back onto the field. He's been pretty quiet here in the second quarter. They've got the lead. That's the good news. But you think they get him more involved going forward?
I think that they do, and that's what they always want to do because he's such a priority and he's such a big-time playmaker. But sometimes defenses take that away, and they've been able to find another way to get it done themselves.
Yeah, they absolutely have. They're winning, and look at the scoreboard right now. So Rivers will lead the Chargers up 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the 20 at the 18. All that, and it only nets him a yard. It's 2nd down.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
White, Johnny hot. Watch safety green. Watch safety green. Safety green.
Allen's got it complete. 12 yards there and a 1st down.
We play to win. Let's go.
If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
That 180, block 15. Strip the ball. Strip that ball.
On 1st down, Gordon. He'll have a 1st down past the 40 as he'll get this one up to the 44-yard line. Give him 15 yards on that one and a Charger 1st down.
Now this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Black 11! I'm coming up.
They go back to Gordon here on 1st down. And he's got it across midfield and into Denver territory. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
From just shy of midfield, Rivers. And Anderson's got it. He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. That one good for 26 and a 1st down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
They'll run on 1st down. It's Gordon. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13.
Well, with the kind of half he's had, I think we can forgive him that run, right? Not every run's going to be a big play, is it?
No, and also the blocking just wasn't there. No room to run.
Yeah, defensively, they got to find a way to build on that because he's eating them alive in the 1st half.
That loss of 3, a rare stumble on a promising drive. Here's 2nd and 13. Throwing Rivers. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Travis Benjamin that time. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down. That pass just a little bit off. It looked like maybe he tried to force it in there.
Game speed, always different, no matter what you do in practice. You can't simulate it, right? So your decision-making, everything has to be a little bit quicker. Sometimes it can throw you off until you adjust.
Now Rivers. And he he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. Credit the sack to Von Miller.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things that's gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. On fourth down, Anthony Lynn says, let's go for 3. From the left hash, it's an even 50-yard attempt. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. We remind you that coming up at halftime, Jonathan Coachman will be alongside. He'll have highlights and analysis from Orlando of this first half of action. And no, it doesn't get there. Hits the crossbar, bounces back out. He had it online, but it comes up about a rotation short. Well, he had that one on target. That's half the battle. The other half of the battle, however, is distance.
And he nearly had that, too. But it was the crossbar that said otherwise. And that'll deny him a shot at 3.
Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. And this, you'd hate to say that a drive in the first half must end in points, but you're down 21-0. They're going to have to get something going fairly quickly.
I would agree totally with that, because if you're going to mount the comeback, it's going to have to come in bits and pieces. It doesn't just all come at one time, right? We haven't seen anything more than a 6-point touchdown ever in this game, right? So that's how it has to be done. Get points on the board now. Start your comeback. But you're exactly right. Let's get it going right here in this spot.
Now here's a throw right side, taken in by his tight end.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them sacked. To throw again on second down. Flacco. Well, that's complete to Sanders. That one good for 26 and a first down.
Let's go.
Thus far, it hasn't been a real fun half for them, but a play like that may get them off the schneid a little bit, get them loosened up and moving.
Kind of seems like they've been sleepwalking and still sitting on 0 points.
And it's not always making an adjustment. Sometimes it's just going back to what you know can work and finally getting it done.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Flacco from the gun. He's got this complete to Hamilton. That one good for 13 and a Denver first down.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, a sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. Broncos with their first trip to the red zone thus far. 1st and 10 at the 19. They go pass again with Flacco. And it's caught. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. This is 1st and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime. Flacco will take to the air again. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Uchenna and Wosu got the sack there.
Well, if you're going to throw the ball on 1st and goal from the 2, the worst thing that should result is an incompletion for you offensively. But, Brandon, this is a different type of football. Back in my day, 1st and goal from the 2, a lot of big people with big neck rolls, they were on the field trying to ram it into the end zone.
back to the 10. They'll try on 2nd and goal here. Now Flacco. And that's complete to the tight end, Hireman. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. The catch good for 6 yards, but now it's 3rd and goal.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
The Broncos on 3rd down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is 3rd and goal. They'll try and run. Freeman. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. This defense bending but not breaking. It's a gain of 3. It's now 4th and goal. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we send you to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach?
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. And welcome, everyone, to this abridged version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This one is maybe not exactly in the bag yet, but there is definitely a big mountain to climb in this 3rd quarter. The teams are already back out there, so let's not waste any time, as we'll turn it back over to Brandon Godden.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. So the Chargers will start the second half with the lead and the football as we're underway in the 3rd quarter. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Out comes the Chargers as they'll go on offense now to start this 3rd quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. So Rivers will lead the Chargers up 1st and 10 at their own 26. From the shotgun, it's Rivers. It's Williams on the catch. That one good for 13 and a Charger first.
Well, this is where reading defenses and practice time comes into play. You've got to know what you're running versus zone versus man and how to run the proper route. And they just executed that one pretty well.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Another tote for Gordon. He's been busy this afternoon. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. Todd Davis, the Broncos' leading tackler last year, up to make the stop.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
From the 44, Rivers. He's got Allen. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. That one a 1st down pickup of 8.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
First down, Rivers. He's got it to Williams. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Charger first. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
Set 180, 390. Gotta do better. Come on, QB, come on.
On first down, Gordon. And he gets stopped up at the 31 after a gain of maybe a yard.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Check 390, black 15. Coming to you, coming to you. Watch out, watch out, watch out.
This is Gordon as they go to him again. And he'll get about 3 as he's brought down to the 28.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. The 22 is the line to gain here on third down. From the gun, Rivers. Open man, it's Allen. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. That one good for 13 and a Charger first.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route. And what you have to do in that one is a receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
Rivers with a 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. From the red zone now, Rivers. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
Well, he'd been targeted quite a bit on this drive, and finally I think the guys on the defensive side, they said no more. They slapped the double coverage on him, made it very tough for him to get the ball.
Rivers incomplete on 1st down. Here's 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Rivers. And, he took that in one-handed. What a grab. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be 3rd down.
It's got to the point where we see guys like that make that type of a catch. Not fair goes through my brain. That size, that speed, and now they're acting like wide receivers, too.
Yeah, tight end one-handed catches. They're kind of like wide receiver one-handed catches nowadays.
Just not right.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
I think that was a good job there defensively. They did allow him to drive all the way downfield, but once they got their backs to the goal line, they really turned up the pressure.
Yeah, they let him get all the way down here. Now the field shrinks. They've struggled to convert, and that last incompletion brings up 4th. So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. And this one is right through. And that stretches this lead even further. It's now 24-0. So he missed that field goal earlier, but he says not this time. Able to knock it through, give his guys 3.
I like his poise. I like his confidence, his belief in himself. Sometimes when you miss that first one, you'll see a lot of guys sag and they can't make the next one. Not in this case. Stepped right up like a pro.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Set to start another drive, Joe Flacco and the Broncos. He's playing pretty well. I don't think it's necessarily him changing up something he's doing, but that O-line, they've got to protect him better.
They do. They've got to make sure that they give him more than enough time in order to find targets downfield. And sometimes what happens when these things are going on is that the field general will step up and say, hey, that's on me, guys. I didn't get rid of it fast enough. Anything to try and relax them a little bit and take some pressure off, because they do know that they are trying.
Yeah, well, we've seen the 4 sacks so far in this contest. Flacco going to bring up the Broncos 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll try to get the ground game going with Freeman. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Shotgun snap and a give to Lindsey. Call it a gain of a yard, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 5.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Operating out of the gun, Flacco got an open man. It's Fumagalli, and he will have a 1st down as they get him to the ground at the 37. Move the chains, a gain of 7 on 3rd down.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They'll run here with Lindsey. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on 2nd down.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Another run by Lindsey. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Flacco. And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete. Another drive comes and goes. Still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
The Broncos send out their punter now as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today.
Come on now, let's go.
Here now a look at Melvin Gordon. He is knocking on the door for 100 yards in this ball game.
And it's so important. It doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal. Just short of it, a little bit over. A little bit over feels better to everyone. Offensive line, running back, team totals. Just something magical about breaking that barrier.
Now he's right there on the doorstep now. So Rivers will lead the Chargers up 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Play fake to Gordon. Now Rivers. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down. Well, CD, we are a quarter way through the season already. I'm curious, if you look at each conference, which division race is most intriguing to you right now?
Well, can we start in the NFC?
You do whatever you want.
Because if so, let's go to the North. Because we thought it would be a tough division coming into the season because I felt like you could make a case for everyone but Detroit when the season began. Now we're looking at Minnesota. They seem a little uncertain at 2-2. Chicago just lost their quarterback, Mitchell Trubisky, for an indefinite amount of time, but that defense is playing awfully well. And Green Bay has Aaron Rodgers. So I think that division now is brutal, and then you've got to throw in Detroit. It's not the same old Lions. Matthew Stafford, he plays with heart, played hurt, and I think that they're improving as time goes on.
How about the AFC?
Well, I think the AFC South. Everyone's 2-2. We thought it would be a tough division. We thought it would be intriguing. And Gardner Minshew's mustache really adds a little extra intrigue to the whole thing. And we saw Marcus Mariota get off the deck and play well last week, too.
Here's Ty Long now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. Fielded at the 20. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Broncos take over, first down and 10. And Denver getting set to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Flacco going to bring up the Broncos first and 10 at their own 26. They'll start on the ground with Lindsey. And this will leave them a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
The last run got 9. That leaves them with second and a yard. Operating off play action. Flacco. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Thomas Davis. The blitz works to perfection as he gets in there to dump him for a loss of 8.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. From the gun, Flacco. Pitch and catch complete to Hireman. And he'll be brought down at the 28, and that is well short of the first. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's fourth down.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver, where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a first down.
The Broncos send out their punter now as he'll come on to kick this one away. And he fields it cleanly. Call it a 48-yard punt. Give them 9, though, on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on first and 10. Working out of the gun, Rivers. It's caught by Davis. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3.
Let's go, defense.
Now movement up front. I think they're going to get one of the Charger linemen.
Offense.
This O-line's been great. They've got the big lead, so give them a pass there, I guess.
Yeah, I would think so, because if we were grading them on their performance in this game, a lot of pluses in their boxes so far.
They were looking good on 2nd down, but now they're backed up 5 yards by the false start, and it's 2nd and 8. Following the penalty, here's Gordon. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a first down on a gain of 10.
Yeah, another good run there. He's been such a big part of their success here this afternoon. And that last carry, it puts him over 100 yards now for the day.
Block the team. 47. Here we go.
Play action now. Rivers. And the Broncos get there and take him down. Chris Harris speeds in for the sack on the corner blitz. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result?
Sack.
Quarterback gets hit.
And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20.
Watch the screen. Wait, 89.
Now a 20th carry, number 20 here from Melvin Gordon. And this Bronco defense really selling out to stop the run, and it pays off. They get him behind the line twice in a row.
I saw Von Miller in college at Texas A&M, and all I kept hearing about was his speed off the edge to the quarterback. But what impressed me, his balance and his ability to take on blocks and be a force in the run game, as we just saw there.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down. Went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Operating from the gun. Rivers. And nowhere to get away. Rivers is dropped. Von Miller picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
It's a team game, but sometimes individuals do stand out, don't they? How about that for a twofer? Tackle for loss on the running play on the previous down, and then comes right back and gets a sack.
Here's Ty Long now as he's on to punt for L.A. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt.
Let's go. Let's go.
Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. It's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go, because they still have an opportunity to make things happen.
Shake it off. Flacco going to bring up the Broncos 1st and 10 at their own 22. Now a carry for Lindsey. Jatavis Brown there on the tackle.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
65.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Flacco. And Sanders has got it complete. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. A gain there of 21 yards. They'll run on first down. Lindsey. And he's going to get across midfield and into Charger territory. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Double time. 4 down. Check.
Here's Flacco off the play fake to Lindsey. He completes this to Sutton. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Give him 14 on that one and a first down. And there they went crossing route against the zone defense. What do you think of that?
Takes real coordination between the passer and the receiver because you've got to read those zones and where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone. Sometimes you're throwing it between the zones. Sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot and what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read, but when they're in sync, it's really effective. I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Inside the red zone here. They'll look to throw. They'll find Lindsey here. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the third quarter of action. Back now at Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. Here's Flacco. His throw caught right around the 6. And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. That one good for a first down pickup of 18 yards. 5th catch of the game for him there. Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. It used to be occasional, right? Safety valve. Throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block. Nowadays, an integral part of the passing game, and they create such great mismatches that they often become the leading receiver. They'll try to run with Lindsey. And this will result in him losing yardage. Back to the 3. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down. What a game this defense continues to play, huh? Yeah, they've been aggressive from the first snap, and they've controlled this ball game. But right now, if you're on the other side of the ball, you've got to match that aggressiveness. No points so far in this game. Moving the football, got to be that way to go against them and try and get some points on the board. And I'm curious on the defensive side if they stay aggressive because you know they want to pitch this shutout. Yeah, they have to be aggressive, but they also have to be smart about it as well because... And Lindsey is going to get in. Touchdown, Broncos. A 3-yard touchdown run. And the Broncos get a bit closer. So they will get on the scoreboard here. Give them credit for that. Too little, too late, but no 0. Oh, you're going slow clap on me. Not very nice, is it? No, but they haven't been very nice on offense. It's been a struggle. Now Flacco will lead them up as they're going to go for 2. Lindsey going to try and run it in. And he got it on the touchdown run, but he won't get in here. He'll be stopped short, and they'll come up empty on the try for 2. after the touchdown. Here's McManus now to kick it away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Phillip Rivers and his Chargers about ready to take over again. And the stats on the screen tell the story. A great start. This defense, they made some good adjustments, so he's fallen off since.
Have to like what they did at the half, but you also have to like the fact that they hung in there. Despite the fact they had a tough first half, he was locked in, right? And rocking and rolling. They came out, made their adjustments, got their confidence back. Now they're causing him all sorts of trouble.
So Rivers will lead the Chargers up 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. A bit of an opening there on the first down run as they get this forward for about 6 yards. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. Gordon loses the football, it's loose.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover.
Check 390, white, 80 hot, 190. Army. Good.
On first down, it's Gordon. And if there was a lane there, it closed up quickly as he stopped for no gain. 2nd down. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. And he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Okay. 380.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Barreling in for the sack, Shelby Harris.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Here's Ty Long now. He's been terrific so far. And good hustle here as this is going to be blown dead right at the 9-yard line. And for an offense that is struggling, this is not where you want to start from. Great punt.
Fantastic punt. And for all those who wonder, what do punters do during the course of practice each and every day? The best ones do what we just saw there. Work on positioning the football and helping their team.
Throwing here on first down, Flacco. Joey Bosa, who else? He's in there for his 4th sack of the afternoon.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. Now it's Lindsey. And he'll get him a little bit of breathing room across the 5 to the 6-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup there, and now they'll have to contend with a 3rd and 13.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Passing play, Flacco. Got a man, that's complete to Hamilton. They'll get 11, but still a little short. 4th down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
The Broncos send out their punter now, standing just outside his own goal line. Here's King. 51 yards on the punt there. And it'll be Charger football here as they take over. Melvin Gordon now, he and the offense, they trot back out there. So after that hot start, the numbers here show the decline. What has the defense done adjustment-wise?
Sometimes when you have a running back who's gotten off to a hot start, you've got to catch him before he really gets going. So you change what you do across the defensive front. Instead of the linebackers being back a few yards, you bring them up closer. It's what we call mugging the line of scrimmage, taking away a lot of blocking angles and gaps and maybe stopping him before he can get going.
Mugging the line of scrimmage. Okay.
Yeah, in this case.
They'll start on the ground. This is Gordon on 1st down. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead, positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Set, 180. 47. Hey, here I come. Here I come. Here I come.
They keep it on the ground. Again, Gordon. Just a couple on the ground there, and that's going to bring up 3rd and about 6. 2 yards on the 1st down carry, and then followed up by 2 yards on the 2nd down carry.
Well, that's definitely not going to be enough to get the job done. Wasn't the expression 3 yards in a cloud of dust?
Now they're going to need 6 on 3rd down to keep the drive going.
Cut. Wait.
On 3rd down, Rivers. He'll get this one complete to Davis. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 17 yards for the Chargers there as they've got themselves a 1st down. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Big Sears right here.
On the counter, here's Gordon. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
All right. Black 11.
Allen's got it complete. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
Set 180. Hey, Brown 80. Check, 47. I got one.
On 3rd and 1, here's Rivers. And he's got a man open. That's Allen. Allen hit. He lost the football. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble. And this is going to be another 1st down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 18. And defensively, maybe an opportunity miss there.
No doubt about it. When that ball's out, all you're thinking about as a defender is, this is our chance to make a huge play. Instead, he's able to recover his own fumble. And big sigh of relief, huh?
Yeah, usually those wide receiver fumbles, there's open space around for the defense, but not there. He hops right back on it.
Checking 90, 180. 47. And we heavy on the edges, heavy on the edges.
They'll run on first down. Gordon. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. 12 more yards there and another first down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
80. Mark 47. All day, just like that. Just like that. Behind! 47. Blue day.
To throw is Rivers. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. He was looking for Mike Williams that time, but it'll be second and goal. The incompletion there stops the clock. Any surprise they're throwing here late?
Ordinarily, yes, because you would think enough is enough. They've got plenty of lead, but I've seen this a bunch of times as well. The defense is going to crowd the line of scrimmage. If you just hand it off inside, you're getting your running back popped a lot as well. Sometimes the defense dictates it. If they're going to crowd it, you may have no other choice but to throw it downfield.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. Two incompletions haven't moved him any closer. And likely throwing again, you'd have to think on third and goal here. Throwing Rivers. He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. Derek Wolfe popping in for the sack. And, partner, it's safe to say that the secondary really contributed to that sack.
Yeah, nickel set, 5 defensive backs. They covered everything. Nowhere to go with the football. But my question is, why didn't he throw it away?
On fourth down, Anthony Lynn says, let's go for 3. This a 33-yard attempt. And his kick is indeed good. And that will stretch the lead up to 3 touchdowns now. It's a 21-point game. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the fourth.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points. But this widens it out, as you said. And now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This will be fielded at the 6. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. So the Broncos coming out now. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
so well. Go to something else.
And maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Flacco going to bring up the Broncos 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. The pass there complete to Sutton, and they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A Bronco first down there, 12 yards on the play. Decent start to the drive, but let's face it, they need a lot of things to go right in a short amount of time, down 3 scores.
Yeah, they're going to run their 2-minute offense here in this game, but this is for future games. Can they get better and be ready for the next time, hopefully with a chance to win?
Now this one to his running back out of the backfield. They're giving those short little routes. Tackled him in bounds, too. They're just not wanting to get beat over the top.
Yeah, and if you can't really get downfield, take the short routes. But now you got to have guys who can actually break tackles and increase those gains.
Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Flacco looks to throw. He's got Freeman here. It's complete. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. 4 yards the pickup, first down. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
On first down, Flacco. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
Flacco leaves to Lindsey on the draw. And once again, not much running room, if any at all. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a third down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Here we go again.
Operating out of the gun, Flacco. He's going to let this one go deep. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's fourth down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on fourth down. Flacco now on fourth. And this is going to be incomplete. The Broncos unable to convert here on fourth. And this defense is going to get the football back near midfield, right at the 48. Well, that's another mistake there on the drop pass on fourth. And we've seen him do things like this all game.
It's not hard to figure out why they're down by that deficit. They haven't made plays that are going to keep them in the game or win the game all game long. That's another example right there. It all boils down at the end of it to execution. Either you make the play or you don't.
Here's the Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. Been a very strong performance for them, really, on both sides of the football. The turnover on downs the most recent example, and now, obviously, they're in a great spot here.
Yeah, if you're over on the bench right now, you're shaking hands with your teammate, you're hugging him, give him a little dap. Been a big, big performance for them. Now you just don't get careless. Take care of the ball on the way out.
Chargers in good field position to start out, 1st and 10. They'll start the drive with a run by Gordon. And he'll be brought down right at midfield after a gain of only a couple. And in this situation with a lead, fourth quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
So it's Charger football as we welcome you back from the 2-minute warning. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. He'll pick up only a yard there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 7.
In order to play really good run defense when you're playing a 3-4, those 3 guys up front, the nose tackle and the guys they call the defensive ends, they're usually big people because they're going to have to eat up a lot of blockers because it's usually 5 on 3. And when they do their job well, guys who play on the inside, those inside linebackers, they're able to just roam and hit.
Got a man. It's his tight end, Lance Kendricks. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 23 yards, the final tally. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
Block the team! Watch the screen! Pass!
Now Gordon on first down. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
So plenty of smiles for the folks here as they head for the exits. It's a victory for their hometown guys. And you look back over the score sheet, interesting. A very clean game, no turnovers by either side.
An absolute rarity when we watch games now because defenses have put such an emphasis on taking the ball away. Well, what we saw here was offenses spending their time saying, look, you know they're coming for it. Ball security is paramount. So they worked on that, not just a week of practice, but I'm sure all during training camp. Make sure when you have it, tuck it away because danger lurks everywhere you turn.
So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. From Southern California, so long, everybody.